Most men think they know what love looks like. The good morning texts, the affection, the time she gives you. But what if the strongest signs of a woman's deepest love look nothing like what you've been taught to expect? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The behaviors that matter most are often the ones men misunderstand or completely overlook. And there's one sign on this list that actually looks like emotional distance. It can feel like she's pulling away, but in reality, it's one of the clearest signals that she's falling harder than she ever has before. And I'll explain that one at number 4, and when you hear it, you may instinctively resist it. That reaction alone will tell you why so many men misread women who truly love them. Demands. Before we go further, you need to understand something that changes how relationships really work. Women who love deeply don't always express it in obvious ways. In fact, research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships shows that a large majority of men consistently misinterpret the strongest signs of female attachment. Which means right now, you could have a woman emotionally bonded to you on a deep level, while you're assuming she's losing interest. That misunderstanding destroys more relationships than cheating ever does. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 behaviors that only emerge when a woman experiences deep, transformative love. Not casual attraction, not surface-level affection, but the kind of bond that actually reshapes how her brain prioritizes, perceives, and attaches. No. And I'll explain the psychology behind each one, so you stop guessing, stop overreacting, and stop pushing away something rare because you misunderstood it. Polyand. Because missing these signs doesn't just make you uninformed. It can quietly cost you the best relationship of your life. Let's begin. Sign number 1. She lets you see her unpolished reality. Not the curated version, not the charming version. The real one. She's comfortable being around you with no makeup early in the morning, messy hair, old clothes, emotional exhaustion. She vents about work. She complains about her family without filtering herself. She shows frustration, stress, even tears. Most men think, she's just comfortable with me, and that's true, but it's not the full story. Bandy. Here's what most men miss. When a woman is deeply in love, what matters isn't just what she shows you, it's what she doesn't. Aliens. This is where it gets interesting. There's a psychological concept called selective vulnerability. It means she's choosing which parts of herself to reveal and which parts to protect. She'll show you her flaws, her bad days, her unglamorous moments. Those make her human, and they signal trust. Blend. But there's one thing she becomes unusually guarded about: her attention toward other men. When a woman is deeply in love, she doesn't talk about being hit on. She doesn't casually mention other men. She doesn't bring up her ex unless it's necessary. She doesn't even joke about alternatives, not because she's hiding something, but because mentally there are no alternatives. Neuroscience refers to this as attentional suppression toward romantic alternatives. Her brain narrows its focus. Other men fade into the background. They're noticed less, remembered less, and emotionally irrelevant. Ironically, many men misinterpret this silence. They assume she's being secretive. They get suspicious or jealous. In reality, her lack of attention toward other men is one of the strongest expressions of commitment she can offer. If she's open with her flaws, but silent about other options, her emotional investment in you is already deep. But don't relax yet. Because sign number 2 reveals what she does when you're not around, and this one exposes a level of loyalty most men never realize they're receiving. Sign number 2. She defends your name in rooms you'll never enter. This behavior is quiet, powerful, and deeply revealing. Ben, when a woman truly loves you, she protects your reputation, even when you're not perfect. Ben, her friends criticize you and she corrects them. Someone questions your intentions and she explains them. A coworker speaks poorly of you, and she doesn't stay silent. She doesn't defend you because you're flawless. She defends you because emotionally you're hers. And that distinction makes all the difference. When her family questions your choices, she stands beside you, even when she privately disagrees, even when she's frustrated with you, even when you've made a mistake she hasn't fully forgiven yet. And this is the part most people find hard to believe. Mandy, she'll defend you even when she knows you're wrong. To everyone else, you remain her person. Still her priority, still someone worth protecting. Now, at first glance, this can sound unhealthy. It can sound like denial or fake loyalty, but that reaction misses the psychology entirely. This isn't blind devotion. Researchers call this protective advocacy. When a woman is deeply in love, your reputation becomes emotionally tied to hers. You aren't just an individual anymore. You represent something she's invested in, something she believes in, something she's building with you. So when someone attacks you, they're not just criticizing your behavior. They're threatening the bond itself, and she responds accordingly. Here's how you can tell if this is real. The next time you're around her friends, notice the tone they use when speaking about you. Then notice how that tone changes when she steps away. If her friends are more careful, more respectful, more measured when she's present, that didn't happen by accident. And she created that boundary, not through control, not through drama, but through consistency. Man, she made it clear, without needing to announce it, that disrespect toward you isn't acceptable. And most men never realize this is happening. They have no idea their partner is quietly defending them in conversations they'll never hear. And when that protection disappears, when she stops correcting, stops clarifying, stops speaking up, that silence is louder than any argument. That's often the moment she's emotionally checked out. Blamed. But let's move on, because sign number 3 reveals something even more telling. It shows that she's thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Plain sign number 3. She remembers what you forgot and brings it back at the exact right moment. Let me ask you something. Have you ever casually mentioned something that felt insignificant at the time, only to have her bring it up weeks or months later? Grant you once mentioned a candy you loved as a kid, and suddenly it's part of a gift. You vented about a problem at work, and later she asks how it turned out. You shared an old dream, and she's quietly looked into it on her own. This isn't coincidence. When a woman is deeply in love, her brain prioritizes information about you. Neuroscience shows that strong emotional attachment activates the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, more intensely. Anything connected to you gets flagged as important. She's not trying to remember, she just does. Because in her internal world you've become central. But here's the part most men don't realize. She's not just remembering to be sweet. She's building understanding. She's learning your habits, your emotional patterns, your insecurities, your motivations, not to control you, but to support you in ways you might not even recognize yet. When someone loves deeply, they want to understand the person they love better than anyone else does. And yes, there's a flip side to this. Those same details can resurface during conflict. She might reference something you said months ago. She might point out a pattern you didn't know you had. She might connect emotional dots you never consciously noticed. This isn't manipulation, it's attention. Ambience, people who don't care, don't track details. They don't remember patterns. They don't store emotional data. But when a woman is deeply invested, every meaningful interaction gets archived, for better or worse. Because to her, you matter enough to remember. If she remembers everything, especially the uncomfortable parts, the things you wish would fade, that's not her being petty. Plimdia, that's absorption. That's what happens when someone is emotionally locked in. Your words don't pass through her mind casually. They stay, they register, they matter. But don't relax yet, because sign number 4 is the one I warned you about earlier.
Yes.
The one almost every man gets wrong. The one that looks like distance, but actually signals deeper attachment than ever before. You may want to hear this twice. Sign number 4, she becomes comfortable with silence while staying connected. This behavior alone has cost countless men relationships they didn't need to lose. When a woman is deeply in love, she no longer feels the need to fill every moment with words. Not out of boredom, not out of withdrawal, but out of emotional safety. You can sit together quietly. She might be scrolling, reading, or simply lost in thought. And there's no tension, no anxiety, no pressure to perform. It's peaceful. This isn't the silent treatment. It isn't disengagement. It's emotional grounding. And silence becomes a shared space instead of a gap. The key detail most men miss is her body language. She stays close. Her posture remains open. She's relaxed, not distant. She hasn't left emotionally. She's settled. Men who mistake this for loss of interest often panic. They overtalk. They poke for reassurance. They disrupt something that was actually a sign of trust. Comfortable silence doesn't mean she feels less. It means she feels secure enough not to prove anything. Now, if you've made it this far, pause for a moment. Drop a comment with the word "thank you." Not for me, but to signal to yourself that you're paying attention. Because sign number 5 reveals something most women never say out loud, but think about constantly when they're deeply in love. And understanding this changes how you lead a relationship. Sign number 5. She quietly begins planning her life with you in mind. This isn't about dependency. It's about integration. When a woman is deeply invested, she naturally starts factoring you into her future without making a big announcement about it. She looks at career options and considers location. She schedules plans and checks your availability first. Your fentrig suddenly matters. She thinks about moving, and proximity suddenly matters. She doesn't ask permission. She doesn't force it. It just happens. You become part of the equation by default. That's not her losing herself. It's her choosing alignment. Now we move into territory most men misunderstand entirely. Because sign number 6 involves conflict, and this is where many men assume something is wrong when it's actually a sign of emotional investment. Sign number 6. The way she argues with you changes. You may still have disagreements. The frequency might not change much, but the nature of those conflicts shifts in a way that's easy to miss. She argues to resolve, not to dominate. She raises issues to repair, not to punish. She stays regulated even when she's upset. Why? Because preserving the bond matters more than winning the moment. When a woman is deeply in love, losing the relationship feels more threatening than losing an argument. And if you respond defensively, dismissively, or coldly, You risk activating what psychologists call abandonment confirmation, the belief that caring leads to loss. Handled well, these moments strengthen the bond. Handled poorly, they quietly fracture it. And finally, sign number 7, she experiences your life as if it's her own. Your victories genuinely lift her. Your setbacks genuinely affect her. You succeed, and she feels proud, not threatened. You struggle, and she feels it emotionally, not just sympathetically. Your good days improve her mood. Your pain weighs on her heart. Blend, not because she needs you for validation, but because emotional connection has blurred the boundary between your life and hers. This is what deep attachment looks like, so here's the truth you need to sit with. Tumblend tementi. If you're seeing these signs, you're experiencing something rare. Lead a woman who, shows you her imperfect self while emotionally closing off other options. Defends your name when you're not present. Stores the details of your life with care. Feels at ease in silence with you. Adjusts her future around your presence. Fights to protect the relationship, not her ego. And emotionally participates in your wins and losses. That isn't casual affection. That's deep love. If this made you realize something you've overlooked or something you need to protect, drop a comment and tell me which sign hit you the hardest. Sometimes awareness alone is enough to change everything.